It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
It is Friday morning.
Yes.
Nothing better to do right now than just get to it. Your top 5 at 6, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my God. We are not a serious people. The turkey pardoning in Washington, D.C., number 5 on your list that will happen. President Biden will pardon 2 turkeys, but here's the story. They're from Minnesota.
Oh, really?
2 birds hatched this summer in Northfield, Minnesota, will be in Washington over the weekend. Now, they're 40 and 41-pound birds.
Jeez.
Yeah, big bastards.
Criminy, obese.
Listen to this. This is why I say we're not serious people. These turkeys will spend the night in a suite at the Willard Hotel in Washington.
Come on.
Their names will be unveiled at a press conference. They will be presented to President Biden by National Turkey Federation Chair John Zimmerman, the man who raised the turkeys on his independent farm. They will then
farm.
They will then be pardoned. Both turkeys will come back to Farm America, an agricultural center in southern Minnesota. Now,
so the kids can ride them at a petting zoo? 40-pound turkeys?
Listen. I love that the news reports all say after the expected pardon, as if there's a chance Joe Biden's going to whip out a butterfly knife and just behead the bastards right there. Which, if he did, would give me some respect for them. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just whip it out. Phew. Some of those
wouldn't that
moves.
be something?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just go
turkeys
ninja
are
on
for
'em.
eating, so yes, I think this should happen.
Man.
This is silly.
It ain't cool being no jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Folklore says Abraham Lincoln's son asked his father to spare a pet turkey that was supposed to be a part of their Thanksgiving dinner, and that's where this nonsense comes from. By the way, word now coming from insiders that Biden's staff, they had internal polling numbers back in the summer of 23 that strongly show he should have dropped out of the whole turkey pardoning game. But he was just too drunk on power to do the right thing. As I
call it the moist maker.
As I said, we're just not a serious people at the end of the day. And that's okay. As long as we're all in this clown car together. Number 4 in your top 5 at 6. Man, this is a real bummer. Hurricane Helene, which rolled through North Carolina, the western North Carolina, eastern Appalachia Mountains. Remember all that stuff? Asheville still cleaning up forever. Yet another piece of the fallout. A Christmas tree farm has been pretty much destroyed. 80,000 trees uprooted with the flooding in North Carolina. The family that owns this says it's about a 15-year fix. 15 years before they're back up and running, if that's even possible. Avery Farms, 3 generations of Christmas tree sales, 80,000 trees gone. Yeah. Man, that is an absolute drag. I mean, there's more trees. I'm saying, but for this family and for the idea that, 3 generations of just work in that area, the last thing anyone ever said was make sure you're ready for a flood in the mountains.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Those acts of God really stick it in and break it off, don't they? I tell you what you do is you get the family. There is a shortage here in Minnesota. You get the family in the car. Most people don't know this in Minnesota. And you truck it on up to, say, Cass Lake, Chippewa National Forest. $5. Go cut your own Christmas tree down. Any national forest in the United States, $5 permit. Hike on out there, cut your own tree down.
There's your tip for the weekend.
They give you the chainsaw, or do you have to bring your own?
No, you have to bring your own chainsaw.
Right.
They also don't
know before you drive.
Yeah, they don't piggyback you out there either. You have to walk out there. They don't wrap it up for you and put it on top of the car. You have to drag it back. It's a family thing. It's bonding time.
Well, yeah, you can also bond with the kids over at that tree lot that has the good hot dog stand right next door too.
The apple cider.
You know it, man. Come on, they got that fire going even when it's unseasonably warm, and you're like, hey, I love the sound of those sleigh bells. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. If in case you somehow missed the fact that there's a very famous piece of art that is very simply this: a banana duct taped to the wall. This was first displayed at a place called Art Basel in Miami Beach. This piece of art sold originally for $120,000. I'm not making this up. It's a banana duct taped to the wall. Someone paid 120 grand for it. And we all said last year, that's the biggest idiot I've ever heard. And we had no idea what we were talking about, because now that same piece of art has sold for 40 times that amount.
Ooh.
A crypto entrepreneur, also known as a douchebag, has won his winning bid $5.2 million. The banana that was auctioned off was purchased at a Manhattan fruit stand the morning of the auction for 35 cents. Mm-hmm. This guy's going to get the banana, a roll of duct tape, which is also not original. I mean, the original banana is long gone. I mean, this is the craziest thing about this. He is getting instructions on how to properly display the work for future. And the dude does say, actually, I plan to eat this banana.
Yeah, he already ate it.
I'm going to pay $5.2 million to eat a banana because I'm a douchebag.
Yeah. I think you should do it in front of homeless people. Go right out in the middle of a homeless camp, plop down, and eat your $6.2 million banana. I'm going to go back to Trading Places again this morning.
It ain't cool being no jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
That's all I'm saying.
Damn straight, man. Really. I just wanted somebody somewhere should have slapped this kid right across the face at some point in his life. Just one face slap might have course corrected the kind of person who would spend that kind of money to eat a banana. Just saying. I'm not a big fan of beating your kids, but some kids need it.
Well, I mean,
jeez.
From your mouth to the ears of God.
Man, give me a time machine. All the things I would do, that'd be on the list. It wouldn't be number one, but it'd be a top 10. What's this guy's name? Justin Sun. Yeah, let me go find Justin Sun and give him a piece of my mind. Number two on your... Sorry. Well, I'm always looking for a good punchlines up.
No, I don't even know what it was. Something about him being homeless himself. If he's a crypto king, he won't be on top for very long.
No. The Mortimer brothers, we all learned from Trading Places what happens. Number two on your top 5 at 6. Vikings and Bears on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, from Soldier Field. This is a big one. The Vikings have had 2 straight weeks of a ton of offense without a lot of points to show for it. The Chicago Bears always play a pretty stout amount of defense, but boy, it would go a long way towards soothing the nerves of a frazzled Vikings nation if they could just put up 30 points once again. And this would be as good a chance as they're going to have for a while to do it. So here's hoping. Last night's game, I don't know if Chicago has snow forecast for Sunday, but they do have it over the weekend up until then. If last night's game is any indication, that would just be a good old-fashioned Bud Grant era football game on Chicago on Sunday. God. Did you watch the Snow Bowl last night? The fourth quarter was incredible.
It was insane. I mean, it was hard to watch almost at one point, not to mention hard to listen to. Whoever those hoople heads were in Cleveland banging on that metal the entire time.
Nonstop.
Yeah, I thought Al Michaels was going to get his 80-year-old ass out there and beat someone. But, it was amazing. It's AFC North football. We're here in the NFC North. We'd love to see some snow at Soldier Field, the wind blowing, just something ugly. Of course, that would, I think, probably favor the Bears. It usually favors the worst team like it, I think, did in Cleveland last night. But it was a beautiful game. If you're a Steelers fan, not as beautiful. But luckily, right on this other channel, the Minnesota Wild was putting it to the Oilers. Oh, yeah, I kept jumping over there and going, it's okay. It's all right. Boldy even got into a fight, for God's sakes. I love it.
Dogs and cats living together.
Yeah.
Mass hysteria. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Hey, I want to say good morning to our friends in Chaska.
Chaska.
I have to put that. Chaska.
Yes.
Because it's close to Chaka, and I grew up watching Land of the Lost.
Chaka. That creepy little thing.
That's just how it goes with me. Chaska, good morning. Glad to have you listening this morning. You know what to do. All right, number 1 on your top 5 at 6. Oh, boy, the least surprising development in recent months to a story we discussed. Ryan Borgwart, the 45-year-old in August who, in quotes, drowned on Green Lake in Wisconsin. His kayak was found, his tackle box was found, his fishing pole was found. He was not. It took a matter of 2 days before authorities went, well, hang on, his passport was flagged in Canada. This is the guy who was chatting online with a woman in Uzbekistan before he suddenly, in quotes, drowned and disappeared. when the story broke after 54 days of people searching Green Lake for his body, they said, actually, we think he just faked his own death and ran away to Europe. He has now been contacted. He is in Europe. He provided a video of himself as proof of life. He's not confirming his exact location. He said, I have no plans to return home. I did a little research. Ryan Borgwart. Borgwart is Dutch for douchebag.
Is it?
Yeah. But this is a man with a wife and 3 children.
Borgwart's listening.
This is a man with a wife and 3 children, and they don't know this yet, but boy, did he do them all a favor.
Yeah, I think in the long run.
Yeah.
I mean, tough to explain it to them. The kids will take the scars with them probably right to their grave or to a good therapist's couch sometime in the future. But, yeah, we have a story we can play a little bit later on. You kind of ran through the timeline there. But, the guy bugged out and he's not coming back. I think they found we thought he was probably being scammed over there by, catfished by some scammers over there that were going to, just wanted his money, was going to dump his body in a shallow grave. But apparently there was a chick over there. That's how they found him. It was through that Russian gal.
Yeah, maybe he's the one guy ever that it found true
out.
love with a woman in Uzbekistan. She actually was a woman in Uzbekistan. Oh, my God. I mean, you should see what she does with a sugar beet. There is your top 5 at 6. Remember, travel tip. If the holidays are coming up, a lot of us are going to be flying. Always, always, always pack extra duct tape. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
A lot of travel over the next 6 weeks or so. People coming and going, holidays all around, driving, flying, getting where you got to go, whichever way you got to get there. This week, story just came out from actually 3 days ago, but now it's in the news. A flight from Milwaukee to Dallas in midair. Cruising speed, 30,000 feet or so. A little bit of an interruption when a Canadian national, a passenger on the plane, stood up and decided he'd had enough of the flight. And, he went towards the door right there in the middle of the cabin and decided, I'm just going to open this door and get out of the plane.
You can't do that.
No, you don't. No, you really can't. You really can't. Not only are you not supposed to, you really just can't do it. Passengers, thankfully, as I said before, always fly with duct tape because you never know you're going to need it. Passengers jumped up to assist the flight attendant who was saying no, no, no and screaming at this guy. They ended up duct taping this dude down.
Yeah,
they restrained him with duct tape. They taped up his wrists and ankles and laid him down on his front, belly side down in the aisle for the remainder of the flight. One of the passengers who jumped in had some comments after the plane landed safely.
There was no time. He was 2 feet from the door. It was just chaos. He was going for the door. And so I just grabbed the guy from behind and kept him from pulling the thing on the door. We were on our knees holding him down.
Yeah, damn American hero. This is why Canadians should not be allowed to fly. Just a good old-fashioned sleigh, give him a couple of horses. You're on your way.
The funny part of the story is they say he continued to ask them to let him off the plane. Even a Canadian trying to bring a plane down by opening a door is asking to be let off, not demanding. Yeah. Even when they've lost their marbles, they're still polite about it. For the record, you can't open a door in mid-flight. Once a plane is past 5,000 or 6,000 feet, the pressure makes it impossible. No human being can get a flight. So if you see someone doing this, yes, restrain them. Break their jaw, duct tape them, 100%. But don't worry, because after 5,000 or 6,000 feet of altitude, nobody can get that door open. The pressure is far too strong.
Well, then don't duct tape them. Don't break their jaw. Just sit there and laugh at them. I'll have another beer. I'm watching this hooplehead try to get out the door. It could be kind of fun. He could just, having a complete meltdown and a breakdown. You can't get out the damn thing anyway.
Like a kid you can't put to sleep. Just let him wear himself out.
Yeah. Ryder, you get it.
I stand corrected. Next time I see that happen, I'm just gonna kick back and. Excuse me, could I have another IPA, please? I've got something I've got a performance I'm going to enjoy right now.
I know. What do they have duct tape on a plane for anyway?
That very reason. Just that right there. Just for unruly passengers, baby.
Well, let's add very quickly to everyone's traveling anxiety. This, a Scandinavian Airlines from Stockholm to Miami had to turn around last week. That's what it sounds like when everyone comes out of their seats with a little turbulence at the same time.
Sam? Okay. Sam, we need over tonight.
Everybody right? Help her out.
There's some guy in Scandinavian just yelling there. I
thought that was the from the platform of the Beast roller coaster at Kings Island in Cincinnati. That's what that sounded like to me.
Sounds like it a little bit. I mean, wallets are coming out of pockets.
Yeah, they are. Keep those seatbelts fastened. All right. This is the KQ Morning Show, and this is a perfect time to look back. All right. On this day in 1950, an NBA game that had an awful lot to do with the future of the game went down. The the Fort Wayne Pistons beat the Minneapolis Lakers 19-18.
What?
19-18. The Lakers only shot 18 times. George Mikan had 15 of those points. Pistons coach Murray Mendenhall, what a name, said afterwards, hey, yeah, we stalled. Yeah, we held the ball and wouldn't shoot, but we won the game. That's all that matters. Well, all that mattered was the crowd was booing through the entire second half, and the NBA was like, we got to do something. And some guy in Syracuse went, well, what if we had a shot clock? And within a few years, the shot clock of 24 seconds was introduced. It saved the NBA. 33 years later, the Nuggets won a game over Detroit, 186-184. I'd say the shot clock was an improvement.
Yeah. And so, in other words, what you're saying is thank you, Minnesota, for advancing the NBA game of basketball.
They did such a great job that they left. On this day in 1986, Mike Tyson, for the first time, became the world heavyweight boxing champion. He was 4 months past his 20th birthday.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's 20 and 4 months? I've known a few of those people lately, and they're idiots. They know nothing about anything, and he was the heavyweight champion of the world. Oh, my. It all makes so much sense. You know, at the time, I was also 20 years old going, yeah, what's the big deal? He's amazing. I'm horrified in retrospect for Mike Tyson that's what he was subjected to through his late teen and early 20s. Of course he lost his mind.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
Yes. Children, like he was when he was named heavyweight champion of the world at 20.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday, November the 22nd. Good morning, weekenders. How's everybody feeling on a Friday morning? Big weekend ahead, the pre-holiday weekend. A perfectly appropriate time to go tie one on. Just going to go ahead and say that, throwing that out there. I remember the first time somebody ever said this to me. Hey, you got to think about what you eat before you drink, in order to help yourself out. And it was my high school history teacher, and he was framing it from the context of, you guys are so stupid. If you don't eat anything, you get drunker faster. And we were like, what do you mean? And he said, the food absorbs the alcohol. If you guys are trying to get drunk, just don't eat anything, and it takes way less. And we were like, oh, my God. And I look back now, and I'm like, I can't believe my history teacher told me that.
Right?
He explained to us back in the days of garbage cans full of hooch. He explained, no, just don't have dinner. You'll get drunker faster. So appreciate that, Mr. Dennison.
It's a different time.
A very different time. But truly, we looked at him as if he had gifted us the secret of alchemy. We can turn base metals into gold. It was insane. He was like a wizard, like Dumbledore or something. But if you're thinking about what to eat before you go out drinking because you don't want to get drunk so fast, let's say you're not a high school junior idiot. Milk, very good for you. Milk is high in potassium. It's 90% water. It keeps you hydrated. If you're just trying to, you don't want to absorb all that hooch so quickly, and you don't want to stuff your gob with, say, pizza, just drink some milk. I think I remember an episode of Happy Days where they were doing that very thing. They were all drinking milk before drinking a bunch of beer. Apparently that's true.
That sounds horrible.
That's what I was thinking. That was my first thought, is like, all that milk in my gut, now I'm going to start dumping beer down there. I guess I'll be bothing.
It gets
I mean, I'm a little lactose, I have a very sensitive tummy.
Well, you'll appreciate this one too,
all right.
Also, if you want to line your stomach, and not only do I have an item that will help line your stomach, prevent the alcohol from seeping in too quickly, but it's very helpful in prevention of a hangover, hummus.
Don't.
I'm a big hummus fan. Thank you. That's God going.
Yeah.
Good boy, Stevie, because I'll eat hummus like there's no tomorrow. Big fan.
Beans. It's beans, right?
Yeah.
Beans. Lots of beans.
Yeah.
Hummus Bob. With no disrespect to Hummus Bob, who started bringing.
Bob. Yeah.
I love Hummus Bob, and Hummus Bob comes out and parties with us, and now brings me beef jerky. But anyway, I mean, there's got to be something on this list I like. Hummus is out. I'm sorry, I'm not going there, not doing the milk. Give me something else, Steve.
Let's see what else we got here. And again, all in an effort to keep you from getting drunk too fast. How about some salmon?
Sure, I like salmon. Maybe a little smoked salmon.
Apparently, it's high in B12, and alcohol causes a B12 deficiency. So how about yogurt with granola?
All right, stop it.
We almost had you with salmon.
I was itching in with salmon. Because if I learned a long time ago, the hard way, over and over again. It wasn't the first time. When I drink on an empty stomach, that's really sloppy Brian. That's the Brian that can end up in the orange jumpsuit. Definitely the Brian where people the next day are going, did you see Zep? Did you see? He couldn't even form a word. We had to help him. We had to help him to his car behind the steering wheel. No, I'm kidding. Not that. But really sloppy Brian. But I eat, and then, you're right. It just sort of, it lets the buzz go like a time release capsule, just a little here and a little there, right when you need it.
Yeah, I had a cousin who told me once, he goes, no, I can't drink on an empty stomach. I'll break out in handcuffs.
That's a much better line.
Yeah. Okay, how about this? Spaghetti. It will absorb some of the alcohol, and the carbs will give you energy, which you then use to keep drinking.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Spaghetti it is.
Oh, that's good. Eggs.
I want spaghetti in the form of pizza, though.
Spaghetti in the form of pizza. Okay, that works fine too. Just you might get a feel. It's easy to overdo the pizza when the beer's flowing, and then you feel stuffed. But also eggs, because they have a lot of protein. The amino acids break down the alcohol. So if you're just trying to avoid the empty stomach, piss yourself, make a fool of yourself, and get arrested, these are just some tips. That's all we're trying to suggest here.
Many moons ago, right here on this show, it was suggested by one of these studies, one of these brainiacs, people that wear lab coats, that you need to drink pear juice. Drinking a pint of pear juice before you go out for the night means it doesn't have anything to do with you getting intoxicated, but you cannot drink so much that you'll have a hangover the next day. Okay. It was right there in bold print. We read it on the air. Very excited. And so we went out that weekend to test it. And, so we were on a mission, one of those drunks where you're like, I'm getting drunk. I'm really going to get super drunk. Drank my pint of pear juice. What a load of bullshit. I was hungover for 3 days. I was doing shots of vodka. I was drinking martinis with shots of Jack. It was bad. It was bad. F the pear juice.
I know just enough about pears to know that pear juice probably costs like $100 a quart.
By the way, not easy to find. You're absolutely right. We had to go to some organic aisle and some co-op or something like that. We found a quart of pear juice.
Yeah, you walked into this place and you're like, do you have any pear juice? And the guy looked at you and went, gonna get drunk tonight? Gotcha. Oh, I got what you're looking for. Anyway, just for as with the weekend upon us, just think about it ahead of time. Don't go empty stomach drinking.
No.
Unless of course you're under 18, then by God, go for it. Because then you'll get drunk, then you'll get sick, then you'll pass out that much faster, and the rest of us don't have to deal with you.
Yeah, you're lucky if you can get your hands on some wine coolers or something. You'll be fine.
Wine coolers, my God. When those things blew up in the 80s, it was like, I don't want beer. I'm going to have some Bartles and James. And I just, at least to think like, this is good. This is good alcohol.
Oh, well, now it's seltzers. Everybody that was drinking wine coolers is now drinking seltzers. Every time I head out to the farm for the family get-together, I got to stop and get Mom. She sends me a picture of her favorite seltzer. I'm like, all right, Mom.
I bought a 12-pack of some blackberry flavored seltzer thing a couple years ago, and I'm at the store, and I put it up there, and the guy looks at me and goes, "This isn't for you."
Just calls you right out.
And I said, "No, God, no, it's for my kid." He goes, "Okay, just check it." I'm like, well, first of all, piss off, and secondly, that's what I'd say if I were you as well. What's this old man buying these blackberry seltzers for? What's wrong?
Trying to hang with the kids, man.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. My God, you're like the Pied Piper. Kids, I've got seltzers. By the way, there is a little bit of an issue in the Twin Cities right now. Some E. coli has busted out. The USDA has announced there's a packaging company over in Michigan called Wolverine Packing. They're recalling about 170,000 pounds of ground beef. And a couple of restaurants were serving burgers with using this ground beef. A couple people, reports are in that there was a couple locations of Red Cow and also the Hen House Eatery. People had gotten sick after eating. Now, E. coli can be horrible if you ignore it, of course. But it's a pretty rough thing. Most people will recover in about a week or so. But there are, a small percentage of infections lead to, a lot of issues, kidney failure and all that stuff. If you feel like you may have possibly come across some ground beef that wasn't good, definitely go get yourself looked at.
Yeah. No one wants the bad beef. E. coli.
Yeah, bad beef. E. coli. There was a time in my life when I would consistently I would get it backwards in my head. Like, I have two things that I do wrong, that I say wrong. I say mirror when I mean window a lot. I reverse those. I know the difference, but my brain always wants to say I'm looking in the window when I'm shaving, and I'm like, no. The mirror. I mean, I don't know what it is. The other one is I always say E. coli when I mean Ebola and vice versa.
No.
Ebola and E. coli. And when I will hear about an E. coli breakout, and my first reaction every time is, oh, my God! And then I go, oh, no, that's Ebola. E. coli is bad, but it's not as bad. Okay, got that straight. What are they? Man, can you imagine being like, our age, full-on adult men, and you're wearing lederhosen and blowing those massive horns in the Swiss Alps?
Yeah.
I can, because you know what? It sounds kind of awesome, actually. Just get up every day, put on those bizarre little suspenders and shorts and those pointy leather shoes.
Hike up the mountain.
Well, who are we kidding? They got it all going on. That's just good living right there. Speaking of good living, good morning to our friends in Eagan. Now, there is some good living over in Eagan, Minnesota.
I'm talking about all this drinking. I'm thinking about Bald Man Brewing now over there in Eagan. Yeah, for a good time.
Attaboy.
And the food truck's pretty amazing. A lot of those places. Uda Pills, we went to, Steve. On Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, we'll have food trucks over there. I dig it because it's like a different kitchen showing up to your favorite beer joint.
Yeah. Oh, I've been down to Bald Man. Good. I enjoy their products.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
I enjoy their products. I go on an empty stomach, and I last about 9 minutes. It's great. Hey, next Friday is always a special day in America, and we need to prepare ourselves for it. And, of course, I'm speaking of Brown Friday, and no, that is not a UPS reference. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Thanksgiving was another big day when we were kids. You know, we'd have the big turkey every year. Last year, the turkey weighed 185 pounds. It had a tattoo, riding around the front lawn on a Harley. Took my sister hostage for 24 hours. My Uncle Zeke actually had to put on his flame-retardant pilgrim suit and subdue him with a flamethrower. One year, he dressed up as a butterball turkey. Oh, my God, look at Zeke dressing up like a butterball turkey. I can't believe. Sitting in that roasting pan wearing go-go boots. Pouring gravy on his torso with a big old ladle. He's gonna get arrested for public self-basting. Look where he's got the thermometer.
Kevin Meaney?
That
Yes,
is Kevin
exactly who that
Meaney.
was.
Oh, yeah. I remember he was in on the show right after they found, like, the day the Dahmer news broke out of Milwaukee, and we were getting all the gory details. We were reading some of them, and he was a guest on the show that morning and had the great line. There was a kind of a pause after they talked about all the grossness and body parts and formaldehyde they found in the apartment, and there was a pause, and Kevin Meaney goes, well, that carpet's got to go.
Yeah, he had a
coat
point.
of paint. Yeah, tore down the building actually.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's Friday, which means we are 1 week away from Brown Friday. I hear about Brown Friday every year, and my first thought every year is, I think about Big Brown, UPS. I imagine, deliveries, Black Friday, and then I go, oh, no. Brown Friday, the most important day of the year to have a plumber on speed dial.
Yeah.
The day after Thanksgiving is every year the busiest day of the year for plumbers. What does that say about us? And yes,
we're enjoying ourselves.
Now, it's not just because of the need to be on the toilets all day.
Yeah.
There's increased strain on all the pipes in your house. Kitchen pipes are clogged because there's grease and turkey drippings and cooking oil going down the drain. Kitchen disposals get overloaded. Who knew you weren't supposed to put a ton of lettuce into a garbage disposal?
I mean,
who knew cold pasta could back that thing up? I've learned some painful lessons with my kitchen disposal. But Brown Friday, and around the country, it's everywhere you go. Yelp analyzed data on plumbing related searches to come up with a list, the most clogged up cities in America for Brown Friday.
Yeah.
Number one is Los Angeles.
All right, sure, why not?
Boy, I mean, that's just tough because no matter what you try to do in Los Angeles, it's 36 minutes away. That's how that city operates.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to get there soon. I think of that as just, I stereotype West Coasters as healthier people, that are into the granola diets. I just wouldn't think they'd be, shoving even down the disposal, What are they, a little granola and some yogurt, clogging it up? But that's not the case. You just got a lot of people out there.
No, and it's just, and especially a day like the day after Thanksgiving, everyone's getting back out. It's just, you can't get anywhere. We lived in LA for 2 years, a brief 2-year sojourn, and I was working with our buddy Jeff Cesario, the comedy writer and comedian. Yeah. We had a project we were working on, and when I got to town, I said, all right, give me, everyone's giving me their tips for life in LA. And he goes, oh, it's real simple. And I said, what's that? He goes, it's a one-errand town. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, okay, you got to go to Home Depot. I go, yeah. He goes, go to Home Depot and then go home. Do not try to add the grocery store on the back end. One errand a day. Just trust me on this, because you next thing you know, you're in traffic and you didn't mean to be. And it turned out to be very true. You got to really plan those things out. But Brown Friday is all about LA. Miami, number 2. Nashville, number 3. A little bit of experience with Nashville, Tennessee as well.
Yeah.
I think every day's Brown Friday in Nashville because all the fried food. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a booming city, but it's hardly a healthy city. You can't get across town without stopping for at least one piece of fried something. If I'm on my way to a meeting in Nashville, let's say you have a dinner meeting, I'm usually getting a piece of fried something on the way just to hold me over. That's how that works.
Nothing wrong with that.
Number 7 on the list. Let's just get right to it. Minneapolis.
All right, top 10. I feel like we can do better this year. Come on, we had the list yesterday. How to eat the most possible, humanly possible on Thanksgiving. Yeah. Come on. We can do this. We can make a top 5.
We absolutely should do this. There was a not a Thanksgiving, but a Gorman family Christmas where we had it wasn't Brown Friday troubles, but it was a frozen pipe trouble. Had a burst pipe, no water in the house on Christmas with everybody having returned home. So there's 10 adults with an exchange student and 2 dogs and no running water on Christmas Day. Boy, that was a tense.
Yeah.
There was some, you find out how much we really love each other real fast in those days. And then my mom did get a plumber out that afternoon on Christmas Day. He was 300 years old. I remember thinking, like, my God, I've never seen a person this old in my life. And he walked in and he just was like going about his business as slowly as you've ever seen anyone do anything. And we all just stared at him like, please, hurry. You know,
gotta go now.
A couple hours later, suddenly we got toilets and showers again and all was well.
Now, this is the Hallmark movie we're waiting for on the Hallmark Channel.
Brown Friday?
Yeah, the holiday movie. Come on.
That's exactly
the
it.
Gorman's Brown Friday. The Brown Christmas.
I'm dreaming of a not brown. By the way, the 20 cities that are mostly backed up, the 20 cities that have the hardest Brown Friday experiences, 6 of them are in... of the top 20, 6 California cities actually make it into the top 14. Man, that's crowded out there.
Yeah. It's the disposals is, I think, probably most of it. People just trying to cram all those, chicken bones. So I mentioned before that I was a maintenance manager at a couple apartment complexes downtown at 125 Oak Grove, still standing there between a couple of super new fancy apartment buildings.
You tried to bring that building to its knees, but you couldn't even do it.
No, not even I could do it. 125 Oak Grove. That's a fortress over there. The other place was Penn Village down there on 90th and Penn as a townhome complex, and they had disposals in their sinks. And my Brown Friday was going over the lady. Now, we love the skin on the turkey. We scun it. We love it. Yeah. But she did not, and an entire bird full of turkey skin down the disposal. She tried to get that.
God.
You talk about 2 hours to get something out. I thought I was going to have to use dynamite. Get that out of the pea trap.
My God. Oh, that's just
nasty.
All of it's just awful to me. If you find yourself on Brown Friday without running water and you need to go to the bathroom, do not just say, I'll just wait. No. Go to a neighbor's house. Go to McDonald's.
Go to a neighbor's house.
Somewhere.
Ryder, are you in there?
Yes.
Get it out. Listen, if you got bashful bowels, as they say, if you're one of those people who you can't go in a public bathroom, listen, doctors say holding in that poop can be very, very dangerous and even fatal.
Really?
If you hold it in too often, your sphincter muscles can become dysfunctional. And then you can develop very easily an impacted bowel. And that gives you serious constipation. Those are all toxins that hang around. And then all of a sudden, you're sick as a dog. You got surgery. Of all the things to have surgery for, the one story you don't want to have to tell people are like, what happened? You're like, oh, I just couldn't poo, and so they had to open me up. Anything else sounds better.
Yeah.
Never had that problem myself. To me, it's just the most basic thing in the world, which is, okay, this is a really gross thing that wants to get out of my body. I'm just going to get it out as soon as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. With the nearest any port in a storm.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google impacted bowel and hit images. I wonder what you see.
Probably not a good idea. I just recommend that not being something you do.
Yeah.
I got an image. I had an unsolicited, horrifying image sent to me a couple weeks ago. A gentleman the guy that brings us our firewood every 3-4 years.
Oh God.
We got a fire pit, and so guy shows up with firewood, and I put in a call. And this is a guy, I barely know the guy, and in a very quick conversation he mentioned, oh, sorry, I'm a little behind, I'm in the hospital, and I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and he goes, well, the diabetes. This is a gentleman who already has one artificial leg, And he said to me, "Oh, they took my other foot. You know, I had a."
What?
And I said, again, a guy I barely know. I went, say what? And he explained to me that he'd lost his foot because he had a sore and he went to get it looked at and he's got diabetes. I guess he couldn't feel how bad it was. And they discovered that his foot needed to be amputated, which is horrible.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And this is the next thing I heard him say after about a 20-second pause. Hey, I just sent you a picture.
No.
And I heard a text, and then a text came in. And I, like an idiot, looked at it.
You gotta.
By the way, it was the before, not the after. It was the before pic. I just said, "Yeah, take a look at that. That's gross, huh?" And I'm like, "No, why?"
Yeah, you know who's the bigger idiot? Yeah. The person that listens to you tell this story and then still says, "Yeah, I want to see it," which happened to me last week.
Oh, my God.
And I grew up on a farm. I'm like, I don't get grossed out, man. Turns out I do. Get grossed out.
And the worst part of this is I wasn't even calling this guy for firewood for me. I was getting it for my nephew. Yeah. I'm in Minnesota. This is a guy in Tennessee, and I'm calling him to say, like, "Hey, man, you still doing the fire?" Yeah. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I got horror porn on my phone.
Horror porn.
Oh, my good God. Is this an outtake from a Saw film, or is this your foot?
Oh, that takes me to Human Centipede, where they tried to hold it in, you know, and it was disastrous. It was. Well, you brought it full circle now. I liked it better when you told the story with his accent, however. But I don't want to mock him. I know.
No, it's a tough situation.
Poor guy. Well, who sends that picture?
By the way, you know what else happens on Brown Friday? The day after Thanksgiving is the second busiest day in the country for urgent care clinics. The day after Christmas is number one. What this tells me is there's something so wrong with us. We are gorging ourselves twice a year to such a point that we all end up having to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So check it out. Thanksgiving injuries. Number one is cutting, self-cutting, cooking, eating, carving the turkey. The main culprit, 60% spike in cuts and cooking-related injuries, but mostly people carving that turkey and it goes awry, and next thing you know, you got a finger missing.
You got to get that electric one. Remember when that was all the rage when we were growing up?
Yeah.
Somebody got the electric and they would carve the turkey and it just mangled it mostly.
Yeah. I could still hear the sound and see that electric carving knife.
Oh, the best.
Man, I love that. You know, there's like anybody who actually knew their way around a kitchen at the time was like, you got to be an electric knife. It's just like the belt you'd wrap around and it would vibrate to lose those love handles. By standing here with a cigarette and this thing jiggering you. Number two reasons that we go to the urgent care clinics on the day after Thanksgiving: food poisoning or simple overeating. Yeah,
I've food poisoned myself on, so it's the damn leftovers, and it's usually like some hors d'oeuvre, like my aunt made some bacon wrapped croissant kind of deals, and the next morning I thought, off the counter, that would be had cream cheese in it and everything. No, I don't even like to talk about it. But yeah, I've had a few bouts of food poisoning. I'm not a pussy. I don't go to the hospital for it. I just gut it out. Pardon the pun.
Burns, number three. We burn ourselves a lot, especially when deep frying turkeys.
Oh, sure.
One of my brothers is a big fried turkey guy, and it's kind of gross, and then you eat it and you're like, oh, it's pretty great, actually. Really, really moist.
Yeah.
And then number four, of course, is sprained ankles, bone breaks, almost always because we eat like crazy people, have a few glasses of wine, and then what do? Let's play some football.
Yeah.
Then we run out in the backyard and we twist our ankles because that's how we do it in America.
My cousin Shane broke his toe on Thanksgiving. We sent him out to the refrigerator in the garage, you know, the beer fridge.
Yeah.
And he was bringing in the second 12-pack and dropped it on his foot and broke his toe.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, and then, it was a bummer. The beer was all foamy for like an hour.
Hey, that's all right. You can find the KQ Morning Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want, sponsored by our good friends at Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's Classic Rock. 92 KQRS.
Good morning. It is 8 o'clock straight up. And this would be a perfect time to give away some hockey tickets. The Minnesota Wild hosting the Winnipeg Jets Monday. Clash of the Titans, man. This is two really good hockey teams at the XL Energy Center Monday night. We would love to give away a couple tickets. 651-989-ROCK is the phone number. 651-989-ROCK. Callers 9 and 2 are going to get locked in. They're going to get loaded. They're going to play a game. We're going to give one of those two people a couple of hockey tickets. We got a great game to play. You know, we're just doing what we can around here. And while we line that up, just want to say good morning to our listeners in Big Lake.
Oh, it's big. It's so big.
Congratulations to Big Lake for locking in that name. How many other communities were like, why don't we call it Big Lake? There's already a big. Damn it! No way. Maybe we can get them to change it. This should be Big Lake.
Right, Mille Lacs came down and went, hey, have you seen our lake? Have you been up to?
Yeah,
have you been over to?
That's what I mean. Like, really? You guys got Big Lake? So anyway, kudos to you, man. The early bird gets the worm, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong stuff up there, Big Lake. Well played indeed.
Uh-huh.
All right, I believe we are good to go, Ryder. Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely. We're going to start with Amy.
Amy, good morning.
Good morning.
Amy, give me your favorite band.
Okay, if you don't have a moment while Skinner is playing Freebird, I don't want to know you.
Wow.
Hey.
I asked for the headline, get the op-ed. Yeah. I like it. All right, Amy, give me your favorite team, any sport.
Minnesota Gopher football.
Gopher football.
Big game, big game tomorrow. Penn State in town.
Oh.
Huge.
I got no time for the Nittany Lions myself.
Oh.
All right, well, this is a little game we call Little Kid or Drunk Adult, Amy. I'm assuming you know how this game works.
Yes, I do.
All right, well, let's make it official real quick here.
I'm not that intoxicated.
Mommy, I have to go potty. Daddy.
Drinks are on me. The KQ Morning Show presents Little Kid or Drunk Adult.
I'm so wasted.
Let's do it. Amy, I'm going to assume you have been both a little kid and a drunk adult at some time in your life, so you should have a special amount of insight here. Good luck to you.
Amy, meet Jerry.
I had a ghost pepper in my brother's burrito, causing him to have a projectile vomit attack all over my grandmother.
Okay, all right. Grandma shows up a couple of times this morning, so gave his brother a ghost pepper, snuck it into his food, and his brother ended up barfing on Grandma. But was he a little kid or a drunk adult, Amy?
Drunk adult.
I was a drunk adult.
Yeah, he was.
I got really hammered, before a family barbecue. The guys and I was, we were drinking, and we had a few peppers, and we were, daring each other to eat them. I found one in my pocket at the barbecue, and I thought, you know what, it'd be funny if, I could see how my brother reacted to this. He immediately started coughing and choking after biting into it. He actually passed out from the whole sensation of it, but not before barfing in my grandmother's hair.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Having that old blue hair.
Is that a ghost pepper in your pocket, or are you just glad to be here?
Oh, my God. There could have been some bacteria in your freaking pocket. Maybe that's what made it.
Yeah, of all the things, I had one in my pocket. I've never heard I had a ghost pepper in my pocket. What?
That's a little too close, to some very sensitive area.
Thank you. All right, Amy, 1 for 1. Keep it up.
All right, Amy, this is Cheryl.
I was found in the morning on the kitchen floor sleeping and clutching onto 3 hot dogs with the microwave door wide open.
Oh, so middle of the night snack, but found on the floor in the morning with 3 hot dogs, clutching 3 hot dogs with the microwave door open. Didn't quite make it. Was she a little kid or a drunk adult?
Gosh, that could be both. I'm going to say little kid.
I was a drunk adult in college after a night of bar hopping somewhere, thankfully, sober me, put drunk me to sleep, knowing that 3 hot dogs was a terrible idea.
Yeah. Well, she passed. Well, she didn't digest them, right?
I can't tell you
pack on all those calories.
I can't tell you the number of times I have I've come to in the morning and looked at just a spread of food.
Oh yeah.
Who made that and didn't eat it? Oh, this guy.
Yeah. My trademark was the pizza right outside the hotel door.
Yeah, sure.
I can tell me how many times I hung over. I would whip the door open, trying to make my escape from the hotel, and oh crap, I could have used that last night. All right, Amy, 1 for 1 here, and that's not bad. 2 for 3 would be a hell of a way to wrap this up. This is Jerry.
I got caught stealing a blue raspberry Slurpee from 7-Eleven by putting it in my pants.
Okay, tried to shoplift a Slurpee by shoving it in his pants. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult?
Little kid.
I was actually a little kid.
Little kid.
My friend dared me to steal a Slurpee. I put it in the front of my pants, and I was caught immediately.
Yeah.
The whole thing was on security camera. My only hope is that it does not exist to this day.
And then you had to go home with sticky underwear.
Sure you did. At least it was a blue Slurpee thing and not something else. Amy, 2 for 3, man. That's really good for this game. As good as it gets. Sit tight, Amy. We're going to move on to contestant number 2 right now. Who we got, Ryder?
We're going to check in with Rand from Mound.
Rand, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Give me your favorite band.
My favorite band was the Beatles because I saw them in 1964 in North Miami Beach on the Ed Sullivan Show.
What the?
You were there?
I was there. Yep, I was 13 years old.
I was going to say, as a little kid or a drunk adult?
Wow.
I was a little kid.
All right, gotcha.
That must have been kind of, I can't even imagine what that felt like to be in that band's presence at that particular time. Incredible.
Well, envious are you, Steve?
Oh, dying.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. All right, favorite team, any sport?
Yeah, my favorite team is the Miami Dolphins. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, we're sorry about that. No, listen, we've all got crosses to bear. But you know what? There was a time when that was a good time. The 70s were good to you.
72.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I left in 71.
Oh, man.
Oh, right before that undefeated season, yeah.
All right, Rand. Well, we've got little kid or drunk adult. I think you know what we're doing here. Good luck to you, sir.
All righty, thank you.
All right, Rand, first up, meet Dean.
I decided to go out wearing my mom's clothes. And it was 2 hours before anyone really said anything. Also, I'm not a cross-dresser.
All right. Dean's not a cross-dresser, but left the house in his mom's clothes nonetheless. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult?
I think he was a little kid.
I was a little kid. That's right. I went out to play at one of my girlfriend's houses. Her mom saw us playing, but just thought I was another girl from the block. It wasn't until we had a snack later on that her mom noticed it all, and she just thought it was cute.
Well, that's when you get away with it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, cutie, Dean. All right, 1 for 1. Smoking right out of the gate, Rand. Up next, this is Zach.
So I came home and shocked my mom when I told her I was in love with the bitch next door.
All right. Yeah, Mom would not like that language or insinuation. Zach came home and told Mom he was in love with the bitch next door. Was he a little kid or a drunk adult?
I think he was a drunk adult.
I was a little kid. I had been next door playing with my neighbor's dog. I kept calling it a boy, so my neighbor corrected me and said that it was a she and that they call female dogs a bitch.
All right, well, he was just, regurgitating what he had learned. All right, well, we've got a 1 for 1 here, so this is for the tie, Rand. And this would be, I think this is Paul. I didn't label this one. Let's find out.
I pooped my pants in Walmart and wore a towel out of the store.
All right, yeah, Paul pooped his pants in Walmart, who hasn't done that, and then wore a towel out of the store. As a little kid or a drunk adult?
I think it was a drunk adult.
I was a little kid, and we had just gotten back from a long trip, and I needed to go to the bathroom, but my mom just kept telling me, just hold it. I tried. I really did. And then nature took over. She was so she grabbed a beach towel, took me to the restroom, threw my pants and underwear out.
Yeah, that's what moms do. That was all about moms. Well, doggone it.
Man, I thought for sure you had that one, Rand.
I did too.
First caller we've had who can say he saw the Beatles live. You got that going for you. That's a life win right there, even though you didn't get the hockey tickets. Appreciate you calling in, brother. Amy, you have won hockey tickets for Monday night. Wild hosting the Jets. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got it. That's gonna be a great night, a great game. Cheers to you for that.
Yeah, stoked.
Man, it's funny. When he said I saw the Beatles as a kid, I immediately thought, I know a few people that saw the Beatles live that worked in the industry, like promoters and early in their career. Sure. I met, but that's only the second civilian. My sister-in-law, my oldest brother's wife, saw them twice in D.C., 64 and 65, and up until I don't know anybody that saw them otherwise. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they were playing stadiums and all that, but it's not like you bump into people all the time who tell you about seeing the Beatles live. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. 2018, I was looking at a radio job out in San Francisco and went out and was interviewing with the guy who was pretty old, had been at the station, he said, for a long time and was retiring, and they were looking for a new dude. And we were just BSing, and he said, blah, 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 when I introduced the Doors at the Hollywood Bowl. And I said, stop. What did you say?
What?
He said, when I introduced the Doors at the Hollywood Bowl. And I went, how long have you been a freaking DJ, man?
Yeah.
All the way back to the 1960s. And he was retiring in 2018. I'm like, I didn't know whether to admire him or feel just horrible for him.
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah, introduce the Doors.
That's pretty great. Yeah, my brother was in high school, and a friend of his, an older buddy who was Tom's probably 16 or 17, and he had a friend who was 20. And he goes, hey, I'm going to see this band tonight. You want to go? And Tom's like, sure. And it was this brand new band called the Allman Brothers Band.
Oh, no.
And he went into this little, at a college in Maryland in the little auditorium. And Tom was a guitarist, and he had heard the name but didn't know what it was, and he talks about that and then my life changed forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's Dickie Betts. Oh my God. And then and that's Dwayne Allman. Okay. Oh, and then listen to that 20-year-old kid singing like that at the organ. Yeah, those are good moments. Those are the moments you remember. Nice. A lot of travel coming up, and you want to be safe, you want to be sanitary, you want to stay clean. There's nothing worse than the idea of, and I remember a story recently of a guy who's was removed from a flight because they determined that his kid had head lice. Before takeoff. Somebody figured it out, and then they ended up getting him off the plane because those things can spread really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Which is about the worst thing imaginable. Well, second only, of course, to gate lice. I'll explain. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Who you calling paranoid? Black Sabbath right there for you. Hey, here's a fascinating little situation I just uncovered. Perusing the text line, the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. We were discussing Brown Friday, clogged drains, and the like. And a listener named Brian texted, one year my mom was at my house, and she peeled the potato skins. She put all the potato skins down.
No.
The garbage disposal. She jammed up my entire drainage system, bless her heart. And you think to yourself, oh, man, that's rough. Then our good buddy Rick the plumber texted in a few minutes later.
Yeah.
With this. Thanksgiving Day, customer thought she could send 10 pounds of potato peelings down the garbage disposal. 3 hours later, I was able to get it cleared. It cost her $600 right before 10 people showed up at her house for dinner. And then he goes on to give us the tip. Avoid anything starch in the disposal. Rice, pasta, potato peelings, etc.
Yeah.
So I got it. Maybe that's the same story from two different perspectives.
I love it.
So Rick the plumber is actually my personal, we got a guy and it's Rick the plumber.
Nice.
And that was the number one thing he said when we bought our house is whatever you do, don't put in one of those freaking garbage disposals. I'm
really?
not going to service it.
Yeah, no, I busted
So
one.
handy.
I threw just a big old, hey, we got to eat the rest of the spaghetti? Nah, get rid of it. And bad idea, man. Oof. Man, I was surprised. I thought that thing would eat like, metal cans and stuff, and it will. But spaghetti, no, doesn't really work. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's never going to be a winner. A lot of us are going to be traveling over the holidays. If you plan to be flying, especially if you're on American Airlines, listen up to this. Wait for them to announce your boarding group. It'll say, now boarding Group 4, Group 5, Group 6. If you're in Group 7 or 8, do not try to cut the line because American is expanding its new technology. They're trying to weed out what this is not the American Airlines terminology, but what general, Tom, Dick, and Harry's call gate lice. Gate lice is the word that apparently airline employees on the down low use to describe passengers who try to board before they're supposed to.
Oh, those people, they want that overhead bag space.
Yep. They're cutting in line in hopes to board that flight early. And now American has a thing where if you go up there and they scan your ticket and you are ahead of your boarding group, not only will it reject your it will reject you. You cannot board. Okay. It puts you in the final boarding group. They'll be like, if they're boarding Group 4 and you're in Group 6 and you try to get in there with Group 4, you're going to be going in with Board 8. Exactly. The shame bells will be ringing. I mean, this is crazy to me. You can just say. The gate agents, I guess they're tired of just going, oh, no, sir, you're not allowed to board yet. Wait till we call your number.
Well, half the time they just let you in anyway.
Yeah.
Because they just want to be nice. Yeah, they just want to be nice. They don't have to confront people there, and so they need an automated system, some sort of alarm that goes off. Maybe security drops through the ceiling on ropes, and then sucks you out of the room. And but I do like people like that, just like the people that have to rush the aisle on the plane when you're deboarding because I've got somewhere I got to be. I'm running late for a flight. Well, then you should have planned better. Or sorry, the airlines failed you. But we're all getting off this plane in order, please. But they got to rush up there and then they stand there.
Had a big blow up with a guy who did that very thing. We were flying. It was me and Rosemary and the kids. This is years ago. They were little, and we're on a Southwest jet. It lands in Florida. And, we were right up towards the front of the plane. And as I'm standing, a guy who was older, he was in his mid-60s, maybe 70s. He and his wife come just running up the aisle. And as I'm standing in the aisle, he hits me pretty hard, bumps in. Doesn't have the ability to say, excuse me, or, coming up from the rear. Bumps into me. And I looked at him and he goes, I've missed my flight. He goes, I missed my connection. And I go, well, then sit the hell down.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. No, dude. No, the word is, I think I'm going to miss my flight. I'm still not going to care. But he said, I've missed my connection. We have to go talk to someone. And I'm like, dude, you not a chance. I stand straight up and I'm like, well, I don't know about the people you've already passed, but we're getting off before you.
Yeah.
I got no time for that crap, man.
It's an airport. You're flying. It's a thing. I mean, it comes with its built-in pains, and it only works if we all just, adhere to the system. I'm sorry you're running late for your flight. I don't care. And mostly, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about a former coworker who used to brag. I always just tell people I'm late for a flight and I rush the aisle. I sit in the back, but I get off right away because I rush the aisle. Oh, that's who I'm thinking about. So, the bad eggs ruined it for you. Sit down. Good luck. I hope you get where you're going.
Maybe it's just the way I grew up, eighth kid in a family with a Marine dad. But it's there's a lot of times in life when, by God, you just got to wait in line. You got to wait your turn, and that's just how it goes. It's it's my world if you're in my house. But once I leave home, it's our world. Same with you. We got to get by. The protocols are there for a reason. Man, and I get real. That stuff about travel, it really winds me up because I'm always amazed at how few people, or how many people you encounter who are just like, yeah, those rules are for everyone but me.
Yeah.
Like, nah, sorry. That's not how that works. I was disappointed, though, to find out that the term gate lice wasn't an official American Airlines part of their lexicon. Because think about if it was. Yeah, we at American, we're trying to ensure that our boarding process is smooth, that it's fair, and that the gate lice learned their lesson. If the CEO of American said that, I'd be like, I'm just flying American from now on. That would be awesome.
I think at Spirit Airlines gate, though, gate lice is actually lice. Just got to know which one you're flying,
Oh, that's exactly right. Well, the airlines, they've all, it's like breeds of dogs. They've all got their special quirks.
Sure.
Yeah, don't they?
There's I saw this the other day too. Let me see. Oh, CBS is like, hey, just in case you need to know, here are the Thanksgiving foods that are TSA approved. And right away, I'm like, oh my God, they have food wherever you're going.
Yeah.
You don't have to fly with your Thanksgiving food.
Oh, I told the story last week, or maybe it was early this week. My buddy Kurt, his mom tried to bring him a turkey, frozen turkey, in his dad's bowling bag.
Yeah, right.
And they caught her at TSA and wouldn't let her. They're like, yeah, you can't take this through. And she's like, yeah, it was just, she's like, but it'll be thawed by the time I get there. She had it in like in a plastic bag. She wasn't going to ruin the bowling bag, I guess. But yeah, she couldn't get the turkey, the bird, through TSA.
So TSA wants you to know most foods can be brought through a security checkpoint. Most baked goods, meats, macs and cheese, stuffing, casseroles, spices, candy, fresh fruits, vegetables, all of that's fine. You got to, they'll scan it, but you can bring all that stuff in. However, it's those liquids, sauces like canned cranberry juice or homemade gravy, canned fruits, vegetables, preserves, jellies, syrups, not allowed. Again, who's bringing food for a Thanksgiving meal on the plane?
Yeah.
Why would you fly? Why would you fly somewhere to spend Thanksgiving with somebody who can't provide you a meal for making the effort to fly there?
I mean, maybe if it's mom and dad coming to visit, but you should be going to visit mom and dad, to be fair. That's what Thanksgiving is. You go home for the holidays. But I have friends that have done that, but they ship it. They box it all up, they package it properly, they ship it, and then they go to the airport and they ship themselves.
Yeah, I don't feel like traveling. Do you mind coming here, having Thanksgiving here? Sure, honey, that'll be fine. And do you mind preparing the meal ahead of time and bringing it? No problem, honey. What else? Do you mind when you get here? Will you buy me a new car? Who are these people? My God,
they exist, man.
Don't get me started. The other travel story of the day. A passenger on an American Airlines flight from Milwaukee to Dallas 2 days ago. He started off the flight, as you might expect, in his seat wearing a seatbelt. Okay. Like everybody else. When the flight landed in Dallas, he had been duct taped ankles and wrists together by other passengers, and he was laying in the aisle on his stomach because midway through the flight, this gentleman, who is a Canadian citizen, decided, I've had enough, and I would like to get off this plane. And so what did he do? He went right to that mid-cabin door and tried to open it. One of the passengers was asked about what went down after the flight did land safely. Here's what he had to say.
There was no time. He was 2 feet from the door. It was just chaos. He was going for the door. And so I just grabbed the guy from behind and kept him from pulling the thing on the door. We were on our knees holding him down.
It looks like flight attendant took one to the mush. I was looking at some photos. Apparently took a swing at the flight attendant. That's when this passenger came running to the rescue.
Yeah. Boy, and here's the thing: you can't open a door in flight. If it's once you hit about 5,000, 6,000 feet, the pressure's just way too much. It's physically not possible to open that door at those altitudes. But still, the fact that somebody's going to try, that person has deserved a beat down and a duct taping and a shunning and everything else. You got a couple hundred people who have at best a low level anxiety coursing through them for the entirety of the flight in an aluminum tube at 30,000 feet off the ground. Don't do anything like that. Just sit in your seat and shut up.
Take your medication before you get on the plane. Knock yourself out. What do you got to do? Drink yourself into a stupor, and then I don't know what they take, Ambien or whatever you take when you get on the plane, but take some of that. I was wondering because I thought duct tape to a seat. I've heard this before. Yeah, we've already in the last couple of years done 3, maybe 4 stories about passengers duct tape to a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them was some young dude that was just going off and yelling at everybody. They actually duct taped his mouth. And I thought, boy, they keep duct tape on an airplane. I don't know if that makes me feel good. What, in case there's a crack in the fuselage? Grab the duct tape. No.
No, it's
little
for
fun
this.
fact. It's for this. You're right, Steve. For this reason,
Really?
flight attendants stock duct tape. They're not allowed to use zip ties for some reason. It's some sort of code violation. So their workaround is good old 1001 uses for duct tape to duct tape the hoople head to his seat.
I wonder if I am assuming that duct tape is fine for any passenger. I can throw some in my shoulder bag, right? Because I might start traveling with some. Just whip, hey, sit down. See this? I'm not afraid to use it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Just put it on your lap, and then all right. You know when you might want to use some duct tape when you're traveling from Stockholm to Miami. And you're flying over Greenland, you might want to just duct tape yourself to your seat. Listen to this turbulence. It's just a couple of days ago.
Sam?
Okay. You can't quite hear it in the audio, but there's some guy yelling in Scandinavian. Oofda! Oofda, man! Oh, wallets are flying out of pockets. That's why you keep your seatbelt on, I guess. But yeah. Sam? She lost her kid. He's a few rows up in another guy's lap.
He ended up in an overhead compartment.
Well, that happened not long ago. Some dude ended up in an overhead compartment.
Yeah, there was such a drop in altitude that a guy just went up and then bang right there.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Keep that seatbelt on. And pee at the airport, put the seatbelt on, take 2 pills if you're supposed to have 1, sit down, face forward, and shut up for the love of God.
Yes, sir.
My kids will tell you this too. They flew a lot when they were little because I was touring a lot. And it was like, I was like, I am not gonna raise bad flyers. I just for the benefit of society, by God, I'm gonna raise good little travelers. And we would sit down, and we always had extra books and all this stuff. We kept them very occupied, but it would be like, hey, we would talk about it for days. We're gonna be on this plane. You're gonna be bored to death, and that's okay. You're gonna have some books. You're gonna have toys that don't make noise. We'll have things for you to do. But if all you can do is sit and stare straight ahead, then just learn how to go to sleep sitting up. I mean, it was like a thing. They're both great travelers. That's about, they'll be in therapy for it for life. But you know what? If you're sitting next to us, appreciated our efforts on that.
We thank you for your child's trauma.
Hey, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is out bringing their holiday hits on tour, and you could see them in the city of your choice after all these fun travel tips we're giving you. Who doesn't want to go? You get to pick the tour stop. Phoenix, Tampa, Nashville, Atlanta. It's your call. One winner is going to score 2 premium tickets to the TSO concert of their choice, plus round-trip air, a 3-night hotel stay, and a $1,000 gift card. Right now, text the national keyword CITY to 95819 for a chance to win. The top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
A turkey's journey to the local grocery store is barbaric and impersonal. That's why at Humane Farms, all the turkeys die of natural causes. Some may be feeble and elderly, riddled with disease, or suffering from heinous injuries, but rather than the barbaric destruction commonly practiced at many processing plants, they pass peacefully in their sleep. After they expire, they're given a brief eulogy, and after a religiously neutral, non-denominational ceremony, they're quickly frozen and shipped to one of our Humane Farms kiosks in a mall near you. Do the right thing this Thanksgiving. Serve up a bird that lived a full life and went when it was its time to go.
I can't chew this.
I feel like I'm eating fabric. These bones just dissolved into powder.
I think I just bit into a lesion.
Honey, are you all right?
Oh, God.
Honey?
Humane Farms. When it's time to say goodbye, it's time to eat.
Harrison Keeler would be proud.
Yeah.
He would be. He absolutely would be. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Friday, November the 22nd. Good morning. Let's get right to your top 5 at 9. Here is what we think you need to know There's a couple of turkeys out of Northfield, Minnesota that a lot of people are talking about right now. Born this summer, they're weighing in at respectively 40 and 41 pounds.
Damn.
That's a couple of big-ass birds right there.
It's an emu.
Yeah, basically, that's true. These turkeys are from Northfield, Minnesota, but right now they are in Washington, D.C. They're about to spend the night at the Willard Hotel, and then they will be celebrated as the two turkeys that President Biden will pardon, as is the tradition dating back to Abraham Lincoln's administration. Biden will, I love this term, he's expected to pardon these turkeys, which means there's a chance he'll just pull out a little hatchet and get to work right there. Can you imagine?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Kids, gather around. Let me show you how we used to do this back in Scranton.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
The headless body just flopping around on the rose garden lawn there.
Sure. I mean, go out with a bang, Joe. Come on. But no, this is something that's going back. But so these turkeys, though, they are Minnesota born and bred. And after they're expected, again, that word pardon, they will be returned to a place called Farm America. It's an agricultural interpretive center in southern Minnesota. Yeah, okay. Good job, fellas. We don't have their names yet, but by God, I can't wait to hear what their names are. Probably Tom and Tim. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I'm going to have to Google what. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Gotta be. Yeah. But Agricultural Interpretive Center. Okay. We're trying too hard.
I think they get to go to Disney World first.
I want to give that one to Paul Westerberg. Write that one into Waitress in the Sky.
Yeah, really. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. The effects of Hurricane Helene are still coming in, and this is a story we just saw. It's a rough one. Out of Appalachia, Western North Carolina, Avery Tree Farms. The Trinity Tree Company at Avery Farms, I should say, has lost 80,000 Christmas trees.
Jeez.
Oh, Christmas tree farm gone. What a bummer.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars down the tubes, and apparently they're saying this is a 15-year reboot. If they're gonna stay in business, it'll be 15 years before they're back up and running with Christmas trees again.
Yeah, I suppose you're growing trees now. We have crop insurance here in the Midwest. Hail, these sorts of things come through your flatline winds, but I'm pretty sure they don't have an insurance payout for 15 years.
I doubt it,
You know?
and I doubt they have flood coverage up in the mountains of North Carolina, since that's never happened.
Right, no kidding.
North Carolina harvests over 3 million Christmas trees each year. So there's still plenty of trees, but for one family that's been doing this for 3 generations, that's just a brutal blowback after all of the other things we've heard about. Now it's even like messing with Christmas. Man.
Yeah, hope they get them some aid. Find it in a farm bill somewhere and give those people a little bit of relief out there if they can. And this is my opportunity to give my little smug National Forest Christmas tree tip every year, like I actually ever did this. It was usually over to Fratelloni's for vice grips, and come on, kids, we'll grab a tree while we're there. But you can go up to any one of our national forests. I know we have Chippewa and Superior. Truck the family up there for a good old-fashioned tree chopping down, $5 permit in any national forest, and you cut your own tree down. And no, Ryder, they don't give you a chainsaw. They don't put it in that cool netting. They don't strap it to your roof for you. You got to hoof it out yourself. But one time with the kids, take them up to a national forest and do it. It sounds like it would turn into a National Lampoon Christmas Vacation story, but I just FYI.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. We buckled down. My wife finally just twisted my arm enough to make me, a couple years ago, we just got a fake tree after all those years. And boy, is it easy.
Yeah, grew up with fake trees.
Great. What the hell was I thinking? Going out and bringing in bugged up trees my whole life. This thing's amazing.
Well, they're expensive as hell, too. No, I grew up with a fakie. Mom still got, I think she upgraded and got a new one now. It's one of those ones, before you had to put up the wooden pole and you stick all of them in there. There was a process to it. It was a bit traditional. But now she has one she takes out of the box and, like a Merlin with his staff slams it on the ground and it just goes poof and it's a tree. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we grew up with a fake tree as well. My grandmother gave it to us, and it was the kind where you just assembled the stick, and then there was just holes, and then you would put in the tips. Yeah. The one we have now, it's just 3 chunks. You just put one on top of the other and the whole thing, plug it in, boom. It takes 4 minutes
It's got the lights,
set that. Yeah.
lights built in.
Lights are built in. Oh, it's awesome, man.
Don't burn down the house, pine needles everywhere. Everybody wants to, I'll water the tree, Dad. I'll water the tree, Dad, for about 24 hours. And then then no one's going anywhere near it, and it just dies. I mean, then you try and get it out of the house and squeeze it through the door, and you end up with like 4 bushels of pine needles in the stairway. They come out of the carpet really easy, pine needles.
Oh, yeah, no, nothing better. Holiday magic, man. Always taking that bad boy over to the tree recycling place, and you realize, I'm not the only guy that didn't get all the lights or ornaments off. Cool.
Yeah.
Just throwing it in there anyway. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. Oh, who can get through the holidays without Hidden Valley Ranch? Oh. Check this out. The Hidden Valley Ranch Holiday Card Collection is now coming to us. Man. This is not just some blankety-blank plain card. No. This limited edition collection lets you send a holiday greeting to those you love, and it comes filled with Hidden Valley Ranch. It is the Hidden Valley Ranch Holiday Card Collection offers fans a delicious way to pour on some holiday cheer. Each card in its 8-card pack comes with a hidden serving of the ranch dressing. There's a little to-go packet in there. So you can send someone a card, they open it, and then there's a little secret sachet of ranch dressing.
Oh, man. I want to do this. I won't, but I want to do it because I'm just not a card guy, but my sister is your quintessential, stereotypical Midwest guy. In fact, she's got shirts. I'm trying to remember the name. I wonder if Ranch thinks about me, too. I know she's got another one. I'm trying to remember. My spirit animal is ranch dressing. So this would be a great card for her. Here's how much we love ranch in the Midwest. I'm at Home Depot. I think it's Home Depot, one of those, maybe Fleet Farm or something like that. And right there between the work gloves and the ice scrapers is a display for Hidden Valley Ranch.
Yes.
Nowhere near any grocery items, but right there in the hardware aisle.
Sure.
There's some Hidden Valley Ranch. And they put it in the pizza aisles. You know, the frozen pizza section, there'll be a little kiosk with Hidden Valley Ranch. I love it.
Man, fair enough. All right, so we all know what to get Brian for Christmas.
I'll take it.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, the Vikings are in Chicago to play the Bears on Sunday. 3 years ago, both teams replaced their head coaches. The Vikings 8-2 right now. The Bears 4-6. Since these two new guys came in, O'Connell of the Vikings, he's got a record of 28-16, and that includes last year when they just fell apart without quarterback play. Okay. Eberflus down in Chicago is 14-30.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just Bears football is what that is. The Bears team is now 4-6. They were 4-2 4 weeks ago. 4 straight losses, most likely a 5th on Sunday. And as we spoke with Sam Ekstrom yesterday, there's not an angrier fan base in the NFL right now than Bears fans. They bought into this rookie quarterback. They bought into this team, and now with 4 straight losses, it is brutal. It's time for the Vikings to finish on some of those great drives by actually scoring touchdowns this week instead of field goals. Hopefully that happens on Sunday. Quick morning shout out to Mounds View. Good morning, Mounds View.
Good morning, Mounds View. Who else is thinking of a candy bar? Anyone?
Always.
Anyone?
Always.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you feel like Mounds View.
Sometimes I'm a big fan of both Mounds and Almond Joy, and I get grief for it. People are like, no. Trust me, I'll take either one of them off your hands, either time. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9, Ryan Borgwart. We told you the story of this guy a couple weeks ago. Borgwart. If your name is Borgwart, like every coach you ever had, Borgwart. Man. Ryan Borgwart, 45-year-old Wisconsin man, faked his own death, basically. We've got a little summation. If you're wondering where we started and where we are now, here, check this out.
He stashed an e-bike near the boat launch at Green Lake, then paddled his kayak and a child-sized inflatable boat out into the water. He then overturned the kayak and dumped his phone in the lake. After that, he paddled the inflatable boat to shore and rode his e-bike to Madison. From Madison, he took a bus to Detroit, then the Canadian border. He then got on a plane to Eastern Europe, thinking authorities wouldn't find him.
Yeah. What a journey.
So many logistics.
Right?
It's got to have the kiddie boat and everything.
They'll never find me, or they'll know every single thing I did while trying to elude detection.
There's no hiding in 2024. You're going to get on a plane. You're not getting on a plane and doing anything with, well, they found him all right.
Yeah, dude faked his own death and ran to Eastern Europe. Oh, did I mention he left behind a wife and 3 kids and is now shacked up in Uzbekistan with a woman he met online?
Dirtbag.
Good gracious.
Honestly, I mean, I know it's got to be insanely painful for the family and especially for the kids and confusing, but you'll get through it somehow. Yep. And but getting this guy back, they want him back to pay the bill. There's about a $70,000 looking for this guy bill sitting out there that they want to slap on him. And there may be some charges, and I don't know if they can get him back from Uzbekistan. Doesn't sound like the kind of place that we have an agreement with. What's that called?
Extradition.
Thank you.
Yeah, really. Boardwort. You just hear every from Little League all the way through high school. Coaches just letting him have it.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.